All money ain't good money. If you've never heard that saying before, this is the perfect time to fully understand what that means. All money ain't good money. The $7 trillion the Federal Reserve printed over the last 2 years, all those stimmy checks, all that government assistance, was it beneficial at the moment? Yes. Did I utilize my stimmy check? You damn right. I invested some of it and I gave some of it away. But $7 trillion, printing all of that money out of thin air is never a good sign, and the blowback we're experiencing right now was something I knew would happen. A lot of you out there were aware of this also, but we're here now. Leave me a comment if you're feeling the pinch like I'm feeling the pinch, because I know you're feeling the pinch. All I can say now is buckle up, because we're in for a ride. I go by the name of Q. If you're unfamiliar, if you are familiar, shout out to you. Welcome back to the channel. I want to talk about quantitative easing for a second. If you're unfamiliar with what quantitative easing is, it's simply introduction of new money into the current money supply. So basically the Federal Reserve printing money out of thin air, putting it into the economy to make it seem like we're doing better than we are when we're not. What they're doing now, however, is tapering. If you're unfamiliar with what tapering is simply removing that money from the current money supply, right? So lessening that money, not printing as much money, and that's why you're feeling the pinch like you're feeling the pinch now. I'm no economist, but I do study economics heavy, not just personal finance, because it's very, very important. I pay attention to local economics as well as global economics, micro, macro, not just what's going on in the US, right? You have to focus on Russia as well as China, because we have alliances with these countries. A lot of war going on, a lot of bloodshed, a lot of back and forth feuding on top of quantitative easing, which, as I mentioned before, that's never a good thing to print that much money. $7 trillion over a 2-year span. That's scary. That's scary. And like I said, I knew we would experience the blowback we're feeling now, like heightened gas prices, heightened food prices. Everything is up. Everything is up right now. And also the interest rates are increasing, because that's what they have to do to combat the inflation we're experiencing. The inflation is extremely high right now. Everything is super expensive, and they're trying to level that out, right? The Federal Reserve and the government, they're trying to balance that out. So as easy as it was to create this problem we're experiencing, it won't be as easy to solve it. It's gonna take some time, right? So I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not trying to fear monger or do anything. I'm just trying to inform you that I think we're technically in a recession. If not, we're very, very close to entering a recession, right? And recessions typically take anywhere between 8 months to 24 months to recover from. So it's gonna get really nasty before it gets better. If you have money in the stock market, I know you see your stock in the toilet. It's a lot of blood in the street in terms of the stock market. Like, my accounts are down, but I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping. My accounts are down, but all that means to me is that stocks are on sale. Like I always say, when you pay attention to things like the fear and greed index, that's an indicator that lets you know how much it's pretty much the investor sentiment, right? Because the stock market is all based around emotions and how somebody feels about a company. So pay attention to the fear and greed index as well as the VIX, right? So the volatility index, and that's simply a forecast, a 30-day forecast of what the stock market may look like in terms of volatility. Now, it wouldn't be right for me to present a problem to you and not present a solution, right? We can all talk about the problems, but me personally, I'm solution based. So I'll let you know exactly what I'm doing to combat what we're experiencing right now, because it's some crazy stuff going on. I'll let you know what I'm doing, and then I may give some suggestions, or you can pretty much take what I'm doing and run with it. So right now, clearly, I'm just focused on making money. I'm focused on making money because the inflation we're experiencing, you have to combat that. If your money isn't growing and inflation is growing, you're technically losing money, because your money is losing purchasing power. So you never want that to happen, right? $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. And while I'm focused on creating more income, I'm also making sure that my emergency fund stays intact, right? My emergency fund is safe and secure. Ever since I built it up the first time, knock on wood, I haven't had any emergencies, so I haven't had to tap in it, so it's still safe and secure over there. Also, focus on paying down certain debts, right? Certain debts that can put money back in your pocket by simply paying them down. More specifically, the higher interest debt, because the higher the interest rate, the more you'll have to pay, the more money you'll be lacking, right? Which isn't good, because you can utilize that money to do better things with other than hold on to debt. Also, focus on savings. Focus on your 6-month projection. Like, we're halfway through 2022. We're just about halfway through, so you have to look outward. Let's say 6 months, to see how things are gonna go. Like, map out some strategies, plan ahead, and think about the best ways to use your money. I'm currently still investing. I'll put that out there. I'm still investing. I'm dollar cost averaging into my favorite investments, and I'm just staying steady. I'm not over investing right now, but I'm also just being careful, because you have to navigate these waters crazy. This is a bear market we're experiencing in the stock market, and yeah, Nobody knows where the bottom is. With that being said, pay close attention to what's going on in the economy, right? Don't overindulge into the news cycle, into the media, because it's a lot of tragic things going on. A lot of tragic things that, that's going on, and it can steal your attention. Don't get me wrong. I feel everything that's going on, but I'm still trying to just keep my blinders on, because the stuff that's going on that we're seeing in the world right now is just as tragic as it was in 2020. Your empathy levels are heightened, your emotions are heightened, and that's something that can severely throw you off track. Be mindful of where your head is in terms of navigating this crazy economy right now. So pay attention. Local economics, global economics, specifically Russia and China, that'll give you indicators of everything you need to know that's coming ahead. Pay attention to what the Federal Reserve is doing. Pay attention to what Mr. Jerome Powell is doing. Every time he get up and talk, I'm up there paying attention, because they give indicators. People don't pay attention to this stuff, but they let you know what's to come. Every move they make, you have to pay attention to what they're doing, because every time they do something, you have to defend yourself, or you have to be offensive, right? And make a move that's going to put you further ahead and keep you ahead. If you need to cut back on some expenses and sell some things around your house, do it. If you need to job hop to create more income by a higher paying job, do it. If you need to learn a new skill to create some more income, do it. If you need to start a side hustle or start a business to generate more income, do that. But most importantly, keep the income coming in. You can only reduce your expenses so much, but the amount of money you can make is infinite. So you can make as much money as you want. That's why I'm stressing and trying to drive home the idea of making more money. That's always my primary focus, because the more money you make, the more money you have to save, invest, or pay off debt. Two more suggestions on what you can do to navigate these troubled waters right now. One is one of my favorite things, and I call this whale watching, right? So pay attention to the whales, and whales are people like your Warren Buffetts, like your Jamie Dimons, like your Kathy Woods, like any hedge fund manager, any CEO of a big company like a Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. Pay attention to what they're doing. They play with billions of dollars on a daily basis, so any move they make, I'm watching what they're doing, because they know what's up. When you whale watch and watch what these big time CEOs and billionaires are doing, they'll let you know. They're generally the ones who make movement in the market, or who makes the market move. Some call them market makers, right? So these billionaires, like I said, they play with billions. They're the only people who can purchase millions of shares at a time, or who can sell millions of shares at a time. And anytime one of these billionaires sell off, that's when the stock market goes down. Like us retail investors, it's gonna take a lot of, we'll have to move in the same direction at the same exact time just to get the market to move by a little bit. So the billionaires, the hedge fund managers, like I mentioned, the whales, when they sell off, it's typically for a reason, and generally that reason is to either take profit. If they've garnered a huge amount of profit, they'll sell when it's at the high before it crashes down, because they know the market was inflated. They'll take profit, or they're simply just rebalancing their portfolio, and you can do the same thing. By rebalancing your portfolio, and this is my last tip, it'll let you know where you're lacking within your portfolio, or how healthy your overall portfolio is if you are investing in the stock market. So if you got some losers in your portfolio, like you got some trash companies that you know should not be there, would I suggest selling them while they're down? Not necessarily, but sometimes you have to cut your losses. Keep the winners though. Keep those top 5 companies, keep those Apples, those Microsofts, whatever ETFs you're invested in, keep those, but just add to your position. So while the stock market is down, I talk about this a lot, that's simply things being on sale. So if you've done your research, or if you've done your due diligence, then you should know, okay, VTI, for example, that's my favorite investment right now. I'm heavy on the VTI. It's the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. That's all I'm buying right now, and it's on sale. It's on sale. There's over 4,000 companies within that ETF, and it's ultimate diversification, ultimate security, and they also pay a quarterly dividend. They are voted the 2022 top best investment, the top best ETF by Bankrate.com. I mentioned that in another video, but like I said, pay attention to all these moving parts. Stay calm, stay focused, don't let your emotions take over, and just ride it out. Just buckle up, ride it out, keep the money coming in, keep the emotions low, just keep it moving. Like this video if you like it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, also follow me on IG, Q Makes It Happen on Instagram, become a member of the Q Crew, click the join button down below where you can get more one-on-one with me, exclusive content, and it's also a way to support the channel. I talk about everything I'm talking about here, but I also talk about more things that's not necessarily YouTube friendly, and I share insights and more personal things about my life and about my investments and what I'm doing moving forward. So if you're interested in that, become a member of the Q Crew. crew. There's 3 tiers. Not sure the prices, but it is a paid subscription. Any tier you choose, I'd love to have you over there. I go by the name of Q, and like I always say, if Q can make it happen, you can make it happen. I'll holler at y'all next video. Peace.